What up? Salvador Briggman here. Welcome back to the Crowdfunding Demystified YouTube channel. On this channel, we talk about how to raise money for your vision, for your passion, raise money for new product ideas, to really raise money for anything when it comes to your creative art, your inventions, or even for a nonprofit or a cause. So crowdfunding can be used in so many different ways. That's one of the major topics that we talk about on this channel. But I would say of all of these, it really has one commonality, which is the fact that we're trying to help you increase and raise your full potential, trying to help you actually reach what you are capable of as an individual, creator, business owner. And I think that when it comes to this, one of the most common questions that I get is, can you actually raise money for anything on Kickstarter? Or if so, what are kind of the specifications, what are the requirements, and what can you not raise money for, right? What is kind of, if you need to draw within the lines, where are those lines? So that's what I'm covering on today's YouTube video. Hope that you enjoy it, and it's coming up in just a second. All right, welcome back, and I hope you've been taking action towards your goals this week. If you do nothing else, at least a little bit of education and learning. One of the best ways in which you can actually move forward in life is to become smarter about your strategy, to actually dial into what you gotta do in order to be successful, to discover those pieces of the puzzle that you just don't know, and to fill in some of those gaps in the map. So I think investing in your education, your learning, is one of the easiest ways which you can move forward in your life. So I commend you for showing up for this video and really being willing to do that. Okay, so the short answer to this is that no, you can't fund anything on Kickstarter. There are certain requirements, there's certain sort of areas in which you actually can't raise funding for, or certain reasons in which you can't raise funding for particular rewards. So let me kind of explain that a little bit of where the requirements are, so that we can have a little bit more clear understanding when it comes to launching a crowdfunding campaign on the crowdfunding website Kickstarter. By the way, I will say that I've been getting so many interesting product ideas just pitched to me recently. It is insane. And I think it's actually kind of a byproduct of just being able to travel again. Like when the world shut down, when COVID was happening, we couldn't travel anymore. And I find that whenever I'm traveling, I think the first time I actually really traveled on my own outside the United States, going to Thailand for a month, traveling around Southeast Asia, going to Cambodia, right? Going to all these different countries and cultures, going to Colombia, going to Medellin, etc. Like I started to just have so many ideas of new businesses, of new products, of new creative and interesting ways to solve common problems, right? And to see the way that other entrepreneurs are doing it in other countries can kind of have a light bulb moment for you as an inventor or as a creator. So I think because we're traveling again, that's probably why so many great ideas are coming out. So let's start with what you can, you can't raise money for when it comes to Kickstarter. So first of all, if you are trying to raise money for a cause, and by that I mean you're trying to raise, for example, $10,000 and you're gonna donate that to a nonprofit organization or strictly for a cause, you can't raise money for a campaign like that using Kickstarter. Now, there are many other platforms in which you can raise money. Go and check out my book, Nonprofit Crowdfunding Explained, available on Amazon, and I cover every single one of these platforms, or go and check out some of my other YouTube videos on that. In addition, if you're trying to raise money for something, but there's no end product which you're creating, for example, you're not giving away or creating something, there's no rewards or perks, there's nothing being really created as a result of you raising money with this campaign, you can't do that style of campaign. Probably the most direct one I think of would just be raising money and donating it to an individual, or raising money for a personal cause, for example, medical bills or expenses, a memorial fund, or education related costs. You can't do that on Kickstarter. The other big one that comes to mind, and this is because I've been covering equity crowdfunding so much more, and platforms like WeFunder. I actually wrote a book called Equity Crowdfunding Explained. If you didn't know, I'm a writer. I actually love writing. It's one of my favorite things to do. So I wrote a book on Equity Crowdfunding Explained, and with this, you can't raise money on Kickstarter for actually an investment of some kind. So for example, you can't raise, let's just say like $100,000 and you're gonna give away shares of your company in order to do that. Or you're gonna give away securities in order to do that. And people that are raising money are kind of like investing in your company. You can't do that on Kickstarter, because then you start to get more into securities laws and regulations. And that's more in the realm of what's called regulation crowdfunding, also known as Reg CF. And you can do that on registered crowdfunding portals and or broker dealers. So that goes beyond the scope of this video. You can go and check out some of my other videos on my YouTube channel if you really want me to go more in depth into that incredibly boring topic of legislation and laws and everything like that. You can't raise money on Kickstarter if you're trying to just give away shares of your company and getting investment for that. The next big one I wanted to highlight before we get more into the specific types of items or rewards or perks which you can't offer. And I know this is kind of like a do not, huge video on like do not, right? I really want to make sure that you understand this so you just don't fall into any of those kind of regulations or rules when it comes to the platform and you can launch successfully, right? So that's the fact that you can't raise money if you are running a campaign using things like CGI or really overhyping what the actual product can do and really not dialing into what it can actually do when it comes to your prototype. So to give you an example, let's just say you have a prototype, but you used computer generated imagery and you really talked about the technology which you are representing in a much higher level than it actually is. You're misrepresenting the functionality, you're misrepresenting what it can actually do, and you're putting this like futuristic bent on it and using like computer graphics in order to do that. You can't raise money for that because that's misleading people to not really understand the actual stage in which the prototype is in. This has happened before and you will get your campaign canceled, and sometimes you might even have backers who will file a lawsuit at you if you are kind of scamming people and taking their money. Obviously not a good thing to do. The other one, kind of a little bit more that's been evolving when it comes to artificial technology, which is like taking over the planet, right? I had actually some really cool announcements on that I'll be putting out on the channel as well, is that there's certain rules and regulations when it comes to how you can use AI within your project. So you should look at those because I'm willing to bet those are gonna quickly evolve when it comes to this platform. So make sure you look at the most updated information when it comes to that. But next, I wanna get more into those prohibited items, perks, and rewards. Want to take all the stress out of fulfilling your Kickstarter rewards? Fulfillrite is the turnkey solution that puts product delivery on autopilot. The Top Campaigns uses trusted high-tech provider to store, package, and ship their products. Focus on growing your business. Leave shipping to the experts. Don't wait. Get a custom quote from Fulfillrite today. Link in the description. Another cool thing that I just want to say as we're kind of getting into this next section is the fact that, for me, traveling has been one of the most incredible experiences in my life, because not only do I get to know so many different ways of entrepreneurs that are starting different businesses and new products, but also you get to know different types of customer bases. And I would say that when it comes to my coaching students, people that I'm coaching with my regular individual coaching calls, my long-term coaching clients, people that I'm helping launching campaigns, one of the biggest like light bulb moments that they typically have is that the world is big. Like there are people literally around the world in different countries that might become a backer of your campaign, that might buy your product, might actually love what it is that you're doing. Just because, let's just say you're in a really small town in the United States, doesn't mean you can't reach people that are around the world that are your customer base. The cool thing about marketing, and what I've discovered about marketing, is that you can literally reach anyone on the planet, and you can start a successful crowdfunding campaign from anywhere. Doesn't matter what your financial circumstances are, what your age demographic is, doesn't matter if you don't have anyone in your local area who's gonna buy your product, right? Because of the internet, the power of the web, you can reach anyone. So I'm going to read from my iPad here just so we can kind of get this. I'll probably have something flash on the screen so you guys can also follow along at the same time. So the first one is that you can't claim to diagnose, cure, treat, or prevent an illness or a condition. For example, nutritional supplement, app, book. You can't just say that this is going to like cure cancer, right? Or something like that. You can't claim to diagnose or treat that kind of condition. Also, contests, coupons, gambles, and raffles are not allowed. Energy, foods, and drinks, offensive material, also known as hate speech, or things that would be very violent in nature, encouraging violence. You can't offer a genetically modified organism as a reward. Kind of interesting. I've never actually seen a project that does that, but kind of interesting how they phrase that. You can't sell live animals, man. You can't sell a goat. You can't sell a pig. You can't offer a puppy as a reward, unfortunately. And you didn't create that sucker either, right? So you can't offer a live animal. You can't do alcohol specifically as a reward. Money processing, credit cards, financial incentives like that. You can't also offer. Another big one is political fundraising. So you can, for example, create a book which maybe has certain political elements in it, and you can raise money for that, but you couldn't raise money and then donate that money to a political campaign. That is not allowed when it comes to Kickstarter. Other ones are pornography. You can actually do some of that on Patreon if that was something you were interested in doing. There's kind of like not safe for work content when it comes to that, like OnlyFans, Patreon, etc. But you can't do that on Kickstarter. Projects that promote discrimination, bigotry, intolerance are another big one, or marginalized groups. Something that's already created and you're reselling it on Kickstarter, that's a big no-no. So this is actually something that I think deserves a little bit of explanation here, just to keep it very brief. You can't sell something that already exists. Kickstarter is more for original creation. And when you're selling something that's already existing, it's kind of like you're more so reselling that on the Kickstarter platform. They do not like that. They will cancel your campaign. I've almost had that happen to one or two of my clients where they thought that it wasn't an original creation when it actually was, and they almost canceled the campaign. Last two are drugs, nicotine, tobacco, etc., and weapons or replicas of weapons. Sometimes if you are inventing something, there might be something that kind of falls into that category of weapon. For example, maybe you have like like a strobe light or something that makes a really loud sound to scare away bears or something like that, you can usually get through that. So there are ways of getting through these kinds of rules and regulations, but if you do have a product that kind of fits in that category, you definitely should research that a tiny bit more. Just because you can't launch a campaign specifically on Kickstarter doesn't mean there is not a platform out there for you. So I urge you, if you are interested in incorporating crowdfunding into your strategy of not only raising funding, getting validation, building a tribe, and getting the funding to actually go out there and create something, or in the case of a nonprofit fundraiser, have an impact or have a change, go and book an individual coaching call with me, an intensive coaching call at the link down below. We can talk more in depth about your project, the right platform for it, the right strategy, the right tactics. I'll have sometimes people come to me and they're doing Kickstarter. I'm like, you shouldn't actually do a Kickstarter. You should do it on this other platform. Or they come to me with a GoFundMe campaign. I'm like, no, you shouldn't be doing GoFundMe. You should be doing this other platform, right? So I can really address your unique situation much better in person via an individual coaching call if that's something that you're ready to invest in. And it is an investment, and it's something that you really want to clear and make sure you're making progress quickly towards your goals. So if you want to learn more about that, you want to meet me, go down to the link down below at crowdcrux.com/coaching, get your individual coaching call booked ASAP, and we can discuss your unique situation, what you're trying to achieve, what you're trying to accomplish, and we can get that call scheduled ASAP. But let me ask you, did you enjoy this video? Did you like this video? Did you like the content that I'm putting out there, man? If you did, give me a thumbs up. Come subscribe to this YouTube channel if you want more content just like this. I got a lot of great content that I'm going to be putting out very soon. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell notifications so that way you get a notification when I come out with a new video. You can be the first to actually get your hands on this incredible funding magic that I'm going to be sharing with you in future videos. Get access to the right information and always be learning and educating when it comes to the podcast episodes, when it comes to the books that are available out there that I've written for you, when it comes to the videos I'm putting out on a weekly basis to help you reach your full potential and to really plow through your goals, your obstacles, so that way you can reach your goals. Thank you so much. Again, my name is Sal, and I will see you next time.